Most directors have no idea what actually happens to them when a company goes into liquidation, and that's why so many end up in trouble. You might think liquidation just closes a company and wipes the debts, but the truth is, as a director, you're still on the hook for a lot. You've got investigations to think about, personal guarantees, and repaying money that you've taken from the company. It all lands on your shoulders. And if you don't understand this before you appoint a liquidator, you could be disqualified, dragged through courts, or even be made personally bankrupt. Now in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what happens to directors in liquidation, what the liquidator looks at, what risks you face, and how we help one client avoid bankruptcy completely by getting the facts straight before they made a single move. Now, the number one fear directors have is, I'm going to lose my house. The number one fear above everything else. They believe that if the company fails, they're automatically going to lose the personal home. But here's the truth, in the UK, a limited company is separate from you personally. Company debts do not automatically transfer to the director. I want you to think about it, right? The limited company has limited liability, okay? The debts there don't necessarily fall on the director that's running the company. The only risk you've got to your house is, well, one of them is you've signed a personal guarantee on loans, leases for the building that you're in, supplier accounts, credit cards, overdrafts. Another one is you've got a large overdrawn director's loan account and you can't repay it. Or if you've acted wrongfully or fraudulently in the running of the company. So yeah, listen, there are risks, but it's not automatic. Most directors do not lose their homes just because their company goes busts. Now, if you're worried, what I want you to do is, first of all, check your personal guarantees. Like, if it went wrong, what's going to hit me? Have I got PGs with my suppliers that I don't know about? Have I got personal guarantees on loans I've taken, credit cards I've taken? This is a big one that trips people up. Have you got a personal guarantee on the lease for the building that you're in? And are the dilapidations claims? What that means is when you leave that building, the landlord will make you put it back to the condition it was when you moved in, okay? Check them all, right? Because you need to be prepared if you're going to go into liquidation of what you're going to do, what you're going to have to deal with on the other side. You're going to have a plan to deal with the personal guarantees. Check your director's loan account. Like, listen, you must, any business owner in the UK should be getting management accounts once a month with a profit and loss. If you're not getting those, you are at severe risk of things getting out of control. Because if you don't have a profit and loss, how do you know you're making money? And if you're losing money, how do you know where you're losing money? And obviously this director's loan account will sit on your balance sheet. And if you've got a bookkeeper doing this monthly, you can click a button, you can understand where your director's loan account sits. It's important you understand. Because if you don't have any management software, I mean, directors say to me, yeah, let me check my last set of accounts. I said, well, they're 18 months old. They're about as much use as a chocolate tea cozy today. They're a snapshot of your business the day they got submitted. The chances are lots changed since then. Another fear that people have got is, I'm going to definitely be made personally bankrupt. They think that company liquidation automatically means bankruptcy. They imagine bailiffs at the door, losing everything overnight. And again, this isn't automatic, and in most cases it doesn't happen. Personal bankruptcy only happens is if you can't pay your personal guarantees after liquidation, you bury your head in your sand and you don't deal with them, or you owe money back to the company on an overdrawn loan account and you don't get it dealt with, or you're being pursued by creditors personally. For most directors, company debts die with the company. Bankruptcy is the exception, it's not the rule. Now, the fear of bankruptcy often paralyses directors from taking action. Typically, they'll delay speaking to someone. They'll bury their head in the sands. They're frightened to death. They're like a rabbit in the headlights. Now, the longer that you delay things, the more problems you've got coming down the chute. The earlier you act, the more chance you can have of negotiating your way out, dealing with lenders, restructuring informally. And obviously avoiding things like insolvency and, in the worst case, bankruptcy altogether. Another fear people got is I'll definitely get banned from being a director. Like every director fears a headline saying, Joe Blogg's banned for 10 years. They think liquidation automatically leads to disqualification. And it doesn't. Listen, the reality is disqualification only happens if you've been guilty of misconduct. Wrongful trading, fraudulent trading. Big thing at the moment is bounce back loans. You know, if you've took a bounce back loan when you shouldn't have done, or you've took 2 bounce back loans, or you took a bounce back loan and sent all the money to your sister the day after. Furlough fraud. COVID fraud's a biggie for getting people disqualified at the moment. People can be disqualified for not keeping proper records, but again, even that's fairly rare. Another disqualification worry could be is if you're making preference payments. So your business has become insolvent, can't pay debts when they fall due, liabilities more than the assets, and you know it's insolvent, and you start to clear off all your overdraw, you clear off all your personally guaranteed debts, and you don't spread that money equally out to creditors. Remember, if you're insolvent, you should be taking advice, because who you pay at that point is going to be scrutinised, and you've got to treat everybody equally. Another area where people get disqualified is where they try and nick assets out of the business cheap. It's called a transaction undervalue. If you're insolvent, you can sell assets out of your business, but you've got to do it in the right way. And yeah, I've touched on it, haven't I? Bounce back loans and COVID support. It's really, really hot topic at the moment. But most directors who've tried the best and they've just got overwhelmed and it's just got out of hand, they're not banned. These investigations are standard. Every single insolvent liquidation, there's going to be an investigation into the director. Now, if your records are clean, you've acted responsibly, and you've got advice early, you've got nothing to fear when it comes to disqualification. Now, I want to talk about how you deal with these fears. Because I've been there. Listen, remember, I'm not an insolvency practitioner. I'm the #1 now director advisory in the UK, and I advise directors around restructuring, raising finance, and insolvency. Okay? I've been where you're at. I really have. What I want you to do now is face the numbers. Don't ignore cash flow. If you're insolvent, act. So get it out. Who do you owe money to? What have you got coming in? What can your assets be sold for? What's the work in progress? Have you got anything in the future that might drop? Because if you haven't and you don't think that you're going to be able to get back on a firm financial footing, you've got to act. Check risks like personal guarantees. Get them all the original paperwork out on your loans, your credit cards, your overdrafts, your suppliers, your lease. Check your director's loan account. Listen, if anything I've said so far has gone, whoa, that you might be right there, go into the comment section, click on that link. One of my team will call you today. We'll give you a free review. We'll help you understand your position in full, no strings, no obligation. You've got to get advice earlier. The earlier you engage with someone like me, doesn't have to be me. I'm really good, by the way. Go and check me on Trustpilot. But speak to someone, because you'll have more options. And there might be some non-insolvency options that you've not thought about. And then you've got the standard insolvency options like liquidation, company voluntary arrangement, administration. They're all open to you. But you've got to pick the phone up to someone. Don't panic. Bankruptcy and disqualifications, that I promise you that they're not automatic. They apply in specific circumstances. So what are the 3 fears directors have about bankruptcy? Losing the house. The fear is being banned as a director, being made personally bankrupt. All valid fears, but not automatic outcomes. The truth is directors who act early, keep proper books and records, and seek advice usually avoid the worst case scenarios. Now, if you're a UK director worried about bankruptcy or liquidation, don't bury your head in the sand. Contact us at Director First today. We'll help you understand your risks. We'll help you understand what options you've got, and we'll guide you through the options. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and you're worried about overdrawn directors' loan accounts, what I want you to do, I want you to go and click there, because that video is going to tell you everything you need to know about overdrawn loan accounts. It's going to tell you what they are. It's going to tell you how you can find out you've got one, but most importantly, it's going to tell you how to deal with it if you're going into insolvency. Chris Worden, Director First. God bless you.